Cool, man.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hanging out. It's Monday after the 4th of July, so it'll be interesting to see if you guys are actually working today, if you guys are slacking off and recovering from hangovers and everything else. So, hanging out with me is my buddy Sean Crane. Man, let me tell you guys, this was a really fun one for me. So, Sean's the first guy I've ever gone to Amazon, found a book, got so into the damn book that I reached out to the guy on Instagram to get him on my podcast, and we've just become friends, hanging out and getting to know him more. So it's a cool damn story. So Sean, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Tell us who the hell you are.
Yeah, Donnie, it's really cool how we ended up here, right? Like you said, reached out to me after reading the book, and we did the podcast and immediately kind of hit it off. I love your style and just your approach and what you're doing. And so, yeah, my story, man, is, I've only been an entrepreneur for a very short period of time. Before that, I was incarcerated for 5.5 years. And I tell people that was like the Harvard for entrepreneurship, right? And for everything I'm doing now, raising young children and balancing and juggling it all, right? I know that you say there's no such thing as balance. And I agree. And that's kind of my message. It's like, how do we strengthen our mindset and take control of our emotional state to get the results we want in life, right? Because running the business, raising children, we know it's hectic and crazy. So, I mean, my story, man, you want me to dive into it briefly before we
just give me a quick highlight, because it really is a pretty wicked story of how you were able to find yourself in a crappy spot, but you also turned yourself around to do some really cool things that you're doing nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yesterday was the 4th of July, right? And that represents freedom and independence. So I was reflecting a lot on what that means to me. And ironically, I found freedom in a prison cell. So at the age of 23, when I was incarcerated for an attempted murder stemming from a fight at a party that I didn't even commit, I was shattered. I thought my life was over. I was looking at a life sentence. And I started to just really delve into parts of myself and peel back layers that I had never explored before. And what I mean by that is, before that time of being incarcerated, I was just going through the motions in life. I had no direction. My goals and ambitions had kind of just died by the wayside, and I was allowing life to just beat me down. And I felt like a victim. And I thought, gosh, this is what this journey is all about. This is horrible, man. I was battling addiction. I was battling depression, and I just had nothing going for me. So when I was faced with that life sentence, suddenly, this thing became real. Suddenly, all the BS, all the excuses, like that clouded vision that I think a lot of people, are afflicted by, right? We're just going through the motions. We're not really understanding how precious this journey is. All of that started to melt away. And I saw the truth. And the truth was that I had held back. I had allowed fear and doubt to just dictate how I lived my life. And all the things as a kid that I dreamt of being, all the, the person at heart that I knew I could be, I hadn't showed the world that individual. And it crushed me. And that was more severe than the life sentence that I was facing. So in that cell, in that moment, I made a promise to myself that no matter where I go, no matter how much time I spend in jail, in prison, that I would never again hold back and shy away from being who I knew I could be. And number two, I would never again touch drugs or alcohol, because that limited me and my potential. So from that moment forward, I was a man on a mission. I had focus. I had a vision of who I wanted to be. And I just chipped away at it every day. And I made it every day count. And I was able to develop a process and an approach to life in that cell that has served me ever since.
You guys see why he's speaking at the summit now? Dude, I love your energy and passion, man. As I've gotten to know you and more every time I hear you speak, it's cool to hear. But even following you on Instagram, can you put a shirt on every once in a while? I swear, every post you do on Instagram, you're shirtless. But
it's hot here, man. Right? I live in California. It's hot.
So, but I love how much you learn, and I don't want to spoil some of the things you'll talk about at the summit, but there's some really cool things you did while in prison that helped you turn things around, which was really cool. And just get some curiosity. I hope people, I hope you talk about the Post-it notes, because it was a really cool thing. But I just love how you continue to show up in the world, and you continue to put out a good message and a good vibe, and are paying forward from the lessons you learned going through a tough damn time. Tell them a little bit about the book itself, because it's a phenomenal read. It's Prison of Your Own, right?
Yeah, I made sure to always keep a copy by me.
That
So
boy.
it's Prison of Your Own. Right, you learn as you go.
Yep.
So the book is something that I dreamt about doing while I was incarcerated. I realized really early on, Donnie, I was like, man, I've tapped into something special here. I mean, I feel more grateful, more purpose-driven in this cell than I ever have in my life. And my goal every day was just to harness that energy so I could bring it home and do amazing things with my life. That was my mission every day. So the book was an idea that I first had while I was incarcerated. And I just kept that idea alive. I kept that dream and that vision alive. And so at the beginning of COVID, when the shutdowns were taking place, I started writing it every morning at 4 a.m. and just sharing my journey, sharing how I went through all those hardships early on with parents who were addicted to drugs and alcohol, a broken home, my lost dreams, my shattered, image of who I wanted to be, to find redemption within myself and then start to put it into action every day. So the book highlights the mental prison that I was in before I even stepped foot in that jail cell, and how I had to recognize this in order to move forward in my life. Otherwise, I could be free right now in the physical sense, but still incarcerated up here. And I think a lot of people can relate to that because we have a vision of who we want to be, but our actions aren't in alignment with that person every day. And we suddenly find ourselves down this path that we didn't pick and choose. And we're thinking, how did I end up here? And or even more important, how do I get out of this predicament? So I wanted to illustrate the things that I did in my cell with nothing, literally nothing, to take control of my mental and emotional state so that I could start to be the person I wanted to be every day, despite my external environment. And that's why I feel that I'm made to be an entrepreneur and share this message also, Donnie, because what do we have to do when times are tough or going through this emotional roller coaster of creating a vision and a dream? We have to be able to control our mental and emotional state. And so that has served me tenfold since coming home. And, I'm really excited to share the book and my message on a bigger platform. So I just wanted to thank you for giving me an opportunity as well, man. I really appreciate it more than you realize.
For sure. A couple of things that you don't know is one, you got me working out again after reading your book, and I hadn't worked out in a long damn time. Second, you're one of the reasons I'm doing combat kickboxing as well, because I needed to find some sort of physical activity. And literally reading your book and listen to you, how much you were working out, what it was doing for you and things in life. I mean, literally you've had a huge impact on my life as well. Just by getting me to, as I get older and older, realizing that I need to be doing a little bit more in my own damn life. So I appreciate the hell of that as well. So, but guys, you got to get your butts to the Badass Business Summit. We've got an amazing lineup of speakers. We've got, networking that's going to happen. We've got just a ton of amazing talent guests. The event is 3 days, September 23rd through the 25th in Arlington, Texas. Tickets are on sale at badassbusinesssummit.com. They're starting to move quickly. Full trade show. So just 3 days of absolute badassery and a good time. And Sean's one of our amazing speakers. We got just some other really, really cool guys going to be hanging out with us as well. Any parting thoughts or words you want to leave everybody with, Sean?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, get to the Badass Business Summit, man. Get your tickets now, right? One of the things that helped me most, Donnie, when I came home is being around people like you. So putting myself in an environment where I was going to see what other people were doing to succeed and get ideas and get that extra push. And there's nothing better than getting in person around these individuals for 3 days and just getting to see what others are doing, get those creative ideas, get your inspiration up, and then get an action plan to actually move forward. So it's going to be awesome, man. I love, now that stuff's opened back up, to get in person and network with people. And yeah, man, come check it out. Come see all the amazing speakers. It's going to be a great experience.
Awesome, brother. Looking forward to meeting you in person as well. So See you guys in September, badassbusinesssummit.com. Keep rocking and rolling. Love you, mean it. See you. Bye.